Could your microwave be silently putting your health at risk? You've been told not to waste food, to save leftovers, to reheat and enjoy them later. But what if some of the most common foods in your fridge become toxic when you reheat them? Especially after 70, your immune system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. A simple reheated meal can turn into days of nausea, weakness, or even hospitalization. And yet, we keep microwaving them. Today we're uncovering the 5 most dangerous foods to reheat, especially for seniors. Some may shock you. Number 3 is something you've likely eaten hundreds of times. But after watching this, you may think twice. Let's be honest, after 70, convenience matters. You want to eat well, save money, and avoid waste. So you store leftovers. You reheat meals. You make things easy. But what no one tells you is this: as your digestive system slows down and your immunity weakens, your body becomes more sensitive to food that's been reheated improperly. What once felt harmless could now increase your risk of food poisoning, inflammation, or even long-term gut damage. This video is here to help, not to scare you. We'll explore 5 common foods that become risky when reheated, the science behind why they're dangerous, and what safer options you can choose instead. Because you deserve meals that comfort you, not ones that quietly harm you. Before we dive in, comment below. Do you reheat your leftovers? And if you want more honest, science-backed tips for healthy aging, subscribe now and tap the bell, so you never miss a life-saving detail. Now, let's uncover the first food you may need to stop microwaving today. Food 1. Rice, a silent culprit of food poisoning for seniors. You might not expect it, but one of the most dangerous foods to reheat, especially for seniors, is plain old rice. Yes, the soft, comforting, easy-to-digest rice many of us grew up eating can become a silent health hazard if not stored and reheated correctly. This isn't about how it tastes or looks, it's about what could be lurking in it after it cools down. Here's the key risk: Bacillus cereus. This is a spore-forming bacterium that can survive the initial cooking process. Once rice is cooked and left out at room temperature for too long, these spores multiply and produce toxins. The shocking part? Even reheating the rice doesn't destroy these toxins. That means you could be eating a warm plate of rice that's quietly poisoning your system. Let's take an example. Margaret, 76, lived alone and liked to prepare a large pot of rice once or twice a week. She'd scoop out portions and microwave them as needed. One evening she started to feel stomach pain and nausea, then vomiting. Her neighbor found her the next morning, weak and dehydrated. At the hospital, they confirmed it was food poisoning from reheated rice that had been improperly stored. Now, Margaret isn't alone in this mistake. It's a common practice: cook once, eat multiple times. But for seniors, the consequences can be more severe. Weakened immune systems can't fight off foodborne illness as effectively. Dehydration from vomiting or diarrhea can lead to confusion, falls, or even hospitalization. Slower recovery time can take a toll on strength and independence. So, how can you enjoy rice without the risks? Smart rice safety tips. Cool rice quickly. After cooking, don't let rice sit out for more than 1 hour. Store it in shallow containers in the refrigerator so it cools evenly. Refrigerate properly. Keep leftovers cold, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit 4 degrees Celsius, and eat them within 24 hours. Reheat thoroughly. Make sure the rice is steaming hot all the way through. Don't rely on microwaving it for 30 seconds and calling it done. When in doubt, throw it out. If the rice smells off or you can't remember when it was cooked, it's safer to discard it. Don't batch cook rice unless you have proper storage habits. For some, it's safer to cook fresh, smaller portions instead. Better alternatives? Consider grains like quinoa or barley, which are less prone to bacterial growth and easier to portion out for 1 or 2 servings. Bottom line, rice isn't the enemy, but poor storage and reheating habits are. What feels like a harmless bowl of leftovers can quietly sabotage your health, especially after 70. Food 2. Spinach. Why reheating could be riskier than you think. Spinach is often seen as the poster child of healthy eating, rich in iron, fiber, and antioxidants. But here's a truth that may surprise many seniors. Reheating spinach can actually turn this superfood into a potential health hazard. What? It has to do with something called nitrates. Spinach, along with other leafy greens like kale, lettuce, and even celery, naturally contains high levels of nitrates. These compounds are generally harmless, even beneficial. In your body, they help regulate blood pressure and improve circulation. But here's the catch. When you reheat nitrate-rich foods, especially in the microwave, the nitrates can convert into nitrites. and then into nitrosamines, which are chemicals linked to cancer development and cellular damage. Now, this conversion doesn't happen every single time. But when it does, especially under certain conditions like uneven reheating, it can be dangerous, especially for seniors with weakened immune systems, sensitive digestion, or those on blood pressure or blood-thinning medications. Take Elaine, 81. She was proud of her healthy lifestyle. Every Sunday, she batch-cooked sautéed spinach with garlic and olive oil, storing portions in the fridge for the week. But she started noticing odd symptoms: headaches, slight nausea, and stomach discomfort after her meals. She assumed it was her medication. It wasn't. Her doctor traced the issue back to the reheated spinach. Once she stopped, the symptoms disappeared. Why this matters for seniors? Older digestive systems are more vulnerable. A younger gut might tolerate low levels of nitrosamines. But after 70, digestion slows and gut lining weakens, making you more sensitive to food-based toxins. Medication interactions are real. Many seniors are on blood pressure or heart meds, which can interact with nitrates and nitrites in ways that affect oxygen levels in the blood, a condition called methemoglobinemia, which can be dangerous if left unchecked. Microwaves heat unevenly. So while one corner of your spinach dish may be warm, another could be the perfect breeding ground for chemical changes. What you can do instead: eat spinach fresh or lightly steamed, once. Avoid cooking it ahead in large batches. If you must store it, keep it refrigerated below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and consume within 24 hours. Don't reheat spinach multiple times. Once is enough. Repeated reheating increases risk. Use raw spinach in salads or smoothies, where it stays nutrient-rich and nitrate-safe. Check with your doctor or pharmacist if you're on medications that interact with nitrates, especially for heart or blood pressure management. Alternative greens to batch cook safely. Instead of spinach, consider using zucchini, green beans, or carrots for meal prep. They're less nitrate-dense and much safer to reheat. Bottom line? Spinach is healthy, but only when handled right. If you've been reheating it for convenience, it might be time to rethink your routine. Because after 70, protecting your digestion, liver, and long-term health starts with small but smart choices in the kitchen. Food 3. Chicken, a healthy meal that turns risky when reheated. Chicken is often considered one of the healthiest protein options for seniors. It's lean, versatile, and packed with essential nutrients. Many older adults cook chicken in batches to save time and energy, an efficient habit. But here's what most don't realize: reheating chicken the wrong way can do more harm than good, especially after 70. Let's explore why. When you cook chicken, its proteins denature, a normal process. But reheating chicken, especially in a microwave or at very high heat, alters these proteins even further, making them tougher and more difficult to digest. Now, for a younger digestive system, this might not be a big deal. But after 70, your stomach produces less acid and fewer digestive enzymes, meaning it's already working harder to break down food. Tough, rubbery reheated chicken can lead to bloating, indigestion, nausea, stomach pain. Take Grace, 76, for example. She batch-cooked grilled chicken for the week, reheating a portion every evening. But soon she started noticing discomfort, heaviness in her stomach and gassiness after dinner. At first she thought it was her medication, but her doctor suggested she try eating freshly cooked chicken or adding it cold to salads. Within days the bloating disappeared. Here's the second issue, and it's even more serious. Chicken is dense and holds onto cold spots when reheated, especially in microwaves. That means even if it feels warm outside, the inside might not reach a safe temperature, allowing harmful bacteria like Salmonella or Campylobacter to survive. This can cause food poisoning, vomiting and diarrhea, dehydration, serious illness or hospitalization in seniors with weaker immune systems. For someone over 70, an infection like this isn't just unpleasant, it can be life-threatening. Here are simple ways to make chicken safer and easier to digest. Reheat only once. The more times you reheat chicken, the more the protein breaks down, and the greater the risk of bacterial growth. Use a food thermometer. Ensure the internal temperature hits 165 degrees Fahrenheit 75 degrees Celsius, especially in thick pieces. Skip the microwave for larger portions. Use a stovetop or oven to reheat evenly. Enjoy leftovers cold. Add shredded chicken to a salad, sandwich, or wrap to avoid reheating altogether. Store properly. Place leftovers in airtight containers and refrigerate them within 2 hours of cooking. Use within 2 to 3 days. Or freeze if you're not eating them soon. Chicken can absolutely be part of a healthy diet after 70, but how you prepare and reheat it makes all the difference. Don't let a good meal become a silent risk. With mindful handling, you can protect your digestion and avoid foodborne illness. Still watching? Comment, safe leftovers if you've ever wondered what's okay to reheat. Food 4. Eggs, a breakfast staple that can turn troublesome when reheated. Eggs are one of the most beloved foods for seniors. Packed with high-quality protein, easy to cook, and gentle on the stomach when fresh. Whether it's scrambled eggs for breakfast or a hard-boiled egg added to lunch, they're a go-to choice for good reason. But here's what many don't know. Reheating eggs can turn this nutritious staple into a digestive irritant. Let's break it down. When eggs are freshly cooked, the proteins and natural sulfur compounds remain balanced and easy to digest. But reheating eggs, especially scrambled or hard-boiled, can lead to a chemical reaction that produces additional sulfur-based compounds. You might have noticed this yourself, that faint, or sometimes strong, smell of rotten eggs when reheating leftovers. That odor is hydrogen sulfide, a gas produced when sulfur compounds break down under heat. In small amounts, it's harmless. But in older adults with more sensitive digestion, these compounds can trigger bloating, upset stomach, nausea or discomfort. For seniors already managing acid reflux, indigestion, or slower digestion, reheated eggs can easily throw off the gut's delicate balance. Consider Edward, 81, who liked to prepare 3 scrambled eggs in the morning, eat 1, and save the rest for quick breakfasts during the week. After a few days, he noticed the reheated eggs tasted rubbery, and often left him feeling bloated or sluggish. He assumed it was just aging catching up to him. But once he switched to making a single fresh egg each morning and storing the others cold for salads or sandwiches, he noticed an immediate improvement. Better digestion, fewer complaints of stomach upset, and, surprisingly, more enjoyment from his meals. As we age, our sense of taste and smell begins to decline, making texture and temperature even more important in how we experience food. Unfortunately, reheated eggs often become rubbery, dry, or oddly mushy. That unpleasant texture can not only make the meal unappetizing but also reduce appetite, which can contribute to undereating, a major concern for seniors. In some cases, reheating boiled eggs in the microwave can even cause them to explode, making them not just unpalatable but also a small safety hazard. Here's how to keep eggs healthy, satisfying, and safe. Cook fresh when possible. 1 egg takes just minutes and delivers better taste, texture, and nutrition. Use leftovers cold. Hard-boiled eggs are delicious chopped into salads or sliced onto whole grain toast. No reheating needed. Avoid microwaving. If you must reheat, do so gently on the stovetop and don't overcook. Add fresh herbs or avocado. These boost flavor without requiring heat and support digestion. Eggs remain a top-tier food for seniors, but how you handle them matters just as much as choosing them. Skip the reheat and enjoy them fresh or cold instead. Your stomach, senses, and smile will thank you. Food 5. Potatoes, a surprising risk when reheated improperly. Potatoes are one of the most comforting, versatile, and affordable foods around, especially for seniors. Whether baked, mashed, roasted, or boiled, they show up on dinner plates around the world. But what happens when you save those leftover potatoes and reheat them the next day? If they were stored improperly, you could be inviting one of the most dangerous bacteria into your meal, Clostridium botulinum. Let's break down why. The hidden danger: botulism from reheated potatoes. Clostridium botulinum is a bacteria that produces a deadly toxin known to cause botulism, a rare but extremely serious form of food poisoning. While it's often associated with improperly canned foods, it can also grow in cooked potatoes, especially when they're wrapped in foil and left to sit at room temperature. Here's why. The aluminum foil creates an anaerobic environment, meaning there's little or no oxygen. This is exactly what the botulinum bacteria love. If you cook a potato, wrap it in foil, eat half, and leave the rest on the counter, you're unknowingly creating a breeding ground. And even if you reheat it, standard reheating may not destroy the toxin if it has already formed. Meet Helen's story. Helen, 79, loved baking potatoes in foil for her dinner. She often made extra, wrapping them up and leaving them on the counter overnight for the next day. After all, they're just potatoes, she'd say. But one morning, after reheating one of those foil-wrapped potatoes, she felt dizzy and nauseated. Her hands tingled. She was rushed to the ER, and after several tests, the doctor explained it was botulism poisoning. The source? Leftover potatoes. Helen was lucky. She survived. But her story serves as a serious reminder. Even the most innocent-looking food can turn dangerous without proper handling. The reheating risk. Reheating potatoes isn't always the problem. It's how they were stored beforehand that makes the difference. When cooled too slowly or kept in warm, sealed conditions like foil on the counter, the bacteria can multiply silently. Refrigerating them while still in foil also traps heat, allowing a window for bacterial growth before full cooling. How to stay safe? Cool quickly. After cooking, remove potatoes from foil and place them in a shallow dish to cool faster. Refrigerate immediately. Don't let potatoes sit at room temperature for more than 2 hours. Reheat thoroughly. Make sure the internal temperature hits at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit 74 degrees Celsius. Avoid foil storage. Never refrigerate potatoes in foil. Always transfer them to an airtight container. When in doubt, throw it out. If you're unsure how long those potatoes have been sitting out, it's better to be safe than sorry. Potatoes may seem simple, but when handled the wrong way, they can quietly turn dangerous. Protect your health by cooling, storing, and reheating them properly, and skip the foil after dinner. Who would have thought that everyday foods, like rice, eggs, or potatoes, could become risky after 70? But here's the truth. Aging bodies are more sensitive, and what once felt fine can now quietly harm your digestion, energy, or safety. The good news? Knowledge is power. You don't have to fear your food, you just need to handle it wisely. From now on, before you pop those leftovers in the microwave, ask, was this stored properly? Is it worth the risk? A little extra care can protect your gut, your immune system, and your peace of mind. Because at this stage of life, the goal isn't just to eat, it's to eat smart and live strong. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want more honest, practical advice that puts your health first, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell so you never miss what could change your life. This is a channel for seniors who choose to live boldly, age wisely, and never stop learning. You belong here. Let's keep growing together.